This is 18 Global News. First, the headlines. APC formally registers Governor Fubara as party member. Bayelsa confirms Deputy Governor's death and declares 3-day mourning. Supreme Court affirms Miriam Sanders' death sentence. Dangote Refinery slashes petrol price to 699 naira nationwide. M23 fighters capture Uvira, strengthen grip in DR Congo. Slot insists Salah should stay amid Liverpool uncertainty. Judy Austin alleges witch attack amid separation rumors. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has been formally registered as a member of the All Progressives Congress after receiving his party membership card at Government House, Port Harcourt. The Rivers APC chairman, Tony Okocha, representing the APC National Chairman, Nentawe Yuwada, presented a card to the governor on Friday. Speaking at the ceremony, Governor Fubara said his decision to join the APC was driven by a desire to promote unity, political stability, and accelerated development in Rivers State. He explained that aligning with the ruling party at the federal level had become necessary to ensure seamless collaboration and unlock greater opportunities for the state. The governor also said supporting President Bola Tinubu was both a political alignment and an expression of gratitude for the president's role in sustaining the Rivers State government during its most difficult moments. In his remarks, APC National Chairman Nentawe Yuwada, represented by Okocha, congratulated Fubara, describing his move as bold, patriotic, and in the best interest of Rivers State. He said the governor's entry into the APC marks a new chapter of unity among political leaders in the state. The ceremony was attended by top APC figures, including the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who was in the state for the commissioning of the Ikwere Road Igruta Airport Road project, the flag-off of a new bypass providing access to communities around the Port Harcourt International Airport. Bayelsa State Government has confirmed the death of Deputy Governor Lawrence Eru Jakpo, who collapsed on Thursday, December 11, while heading to a meeting at his office. He was rushed to the Federal Medical Center in Yenagoa, where he was pronounced dead. Governor Doye declared a 3-day state mourning and ordered all flags to fly at half-mast, extending condolences to Oru Jakpo's family and the people of Bayelsa. Oru Jakpo, 60, served as deputy governor since 2020 and previously as senator of Bayelsa West and state commissioner for works. The PDP described him as the principled politician and a blessing to the state. His death comes amid political tensions in Bayelsa following his recent court move to prevent the State House of Assembly from pursuing impeachment over his decision to remain in the PDP after Governor Diri defected to the APC. Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State, Justice Ekaite Obot, has sworn in 16 newly appointed notaries public. The lawyers were recommended by the Chief Judge herself and subsequently approved by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere Eku, speaking shortly after administering the oath prescribed in the Notaries Public Act 2023, Justice Obot reminded the new notaries of the weight of the responsibility they now carry. She charged them to exercise their duties faithfully and prepare contracts and instruments in a transparent manner. She cautioned them against attesting to any act, contract, or instrument tainted by fraud or violence, emphasizing that they must always act uprightly and justly in accordance with the oaths they had taken. Those sworn in include Inyobong Udo Oko Esquire, Vivian Ijioma Uzoma Esquire, Benjamin Emmanuel Adams Esquire, Emmanuel Amos Omana Esquire, Ime Akwawa Esiem Esquire, Edieke Paul Jumbo Esquire, Isaac Sado O Shoriame Ephraim Esquire, and Samuel Akwadiaga Etuk Esquire. Others are Indefriki Peter Udo, Akan Obotowo Esquire, Sembenge Nse Ekanem Esquire, Nsima Ndifriki Akwan Esquire, Ifweko Ebi Ikimwin Esquire, Rosimi Omoni Oniesan Esquire, Obong Edem Ofyong Esquire, and Lazarus Daniel Aniezi Esquire. Marcelinus Marshal Udoakang Esquire was however absent. The swearing in of the 16 lawyers is not just a routine administrative appointment, it is a direct implementation of the new reformed Notaries Public Act 2023 at the state level. The Chief Judge used the occasion to issue a public charge, reinforcing the judiciary's commitment to fighting fraud and ensuring legal instruments in the state maintain the highest level of probity and integrity. Abia State Police Command says that its operatives apprehended 3 alleged notorious gun runners and recovered 7 assaulted firearms at Obingwa, local government area of the state, on Thursday. The command identified the suspected gun runners as Nworu John, male, 65 years, Chikezie Obani, male, 65 years, and Collins Ukandu, male, 55 years. The police public relations officer of the command, DSP Maureen Chinaka, who made this known in a press statement, said that the operatives acted on credible and actionable intelligence during the operation. She said that exhibits recovered from the suspects include 2 automatic pump-action guns, 3 locally made double-barrel guns, 1 single-barrel pump-action gun, 1 locally fabricated 6-round revolver, and 4 live cartridges, adding that interrogation and detailed investigation of the suspect had commenced. The statement quoted the Commissioner of Police, Abia Command, Danladi Issa, as assuring Abia residents that his command would sustain the war against crime of all forms. He urged the general public to remain vigilant and to promptly report any suspicious persons, activities, or security concerns to the nearest police station or through the command's emergency numbers. Anambra State Police Command has presented the Inspector General of Police's Group Life Insurance Family Welfare Scheme checks worth a total of 33.2 million naira to 54 families of police officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Ikioye Orutugu, presented the checks to the bereaved families during the command's Strategic Officers Lecture held at the Police Command Headquarters, Oka, on Friday. Orutugu said the gesture demonstrates the unwavering commitment of the Police High Command to the welfare of officers and the families of those who paid the supreme price in the line of duty. He assured residents of the command's readiness to provide effective security throughout the Yuletide period and called on the public to remain law-abiding and report suspicious activities promptly. The CP also reassured residents of the command's readiness to provide effective security throughout the Yuletide period and called on the public to remain law-abiding and report suspicious activities promptly. He further conveyed the Inspector General of Police's commendation to officers and men of the command for their professionalism and exemplary conduct during the recently concluded governorship election. He urged commanders to remain vigilant, professional, and community-oriented, and to respond swiftly and decisively to any emerging security concerns. Lagos State Police Command has dismissed reports claiming that armed men invaded Ajebo community near Agbowa in the Ikosi Ejimi LCDA. Injured residents fired shots and looted properties. An online platform had reported that gunmen attacked residents, destroying properties and forcing many to flee their homes. It also alleged that hoodlums wielding weapons blocked roads and disrupted police rescue efforts. In a statement issued Friday by the police public relations officer, SP Bimbola Adebisi, the command described the allegations as false and misleading. Police clarified that the disturbance in Ajebo was the result of a land dispute between two families. According to the police, joint intervention teams, including tactical units, anti-riot operatives, personnel from Agbowa Division, Area N Command, and officers from the state headquarters were immediately deployed, restoring calm to the area. Residents have since turned to their daily activities. The Commissioner of Police, CP Olohundari Jimo, has ordered a full investigation. Preliminary findings confirmed that the incident was strictly a family-related land dispute and not an attack by gunmen. The warring family leaders have been identified and invited for questioning. Commuters in Lagos may have cause to smile as the federal government on Friday temporarily opened Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, measuring 47 kilometers and stretching from the Amadu Bello Way Junction to Eleko Village Junction. Minister of Works Dave Omahi announced the opening of the coastal road at an event attended by government officials, traditional rulers, and other key stakeholders. He told the gathering in Lagos that the opening of the highway will bring ease to commuters and is expected to end the harrowing driving experience for road users in the Lekki-Ajah corridor. With Section 1 of the mega road project now open to traffic, Omahi said the federal government has fulfilled a promise to the people. Last month, the Works Minister, during an inspection tour of the Coastal Highway project, assured that Section 1 would be completed and opened to traffic between December 12 and 17, 2025. The former governor of Ebonyi State said April 2026 has been set aside to complete Section 1. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is a project expected to run through 9 coastal states across the country. It will start in Lagos and terminate in Cross River. The mega road project will also pass through Edo, Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Ondo, Bayelsa, and Ogun states. Troops of Operation Wellstroke, in a coordinated effort with the Nigeria Police Force, Zaki Biam Division, and the Benue State Community Protection Guard, executed a well-planned operation on the 11th December 2025 after receiving reliable intelligence. The security team moved swiftly to confront a criminal group that had erected an illegal roadblock along the routes connecting Atoruko, Wembe, and Ayati villages in Bokio Council Ward, Okom local government area of Benue State. This was contained in a statement by the AG Media Information Officer, JTF Operation Wellstroke, Lieutenant Zubairu. He said the armed gang had been ambushing and dispossessing innocent travelers who unknowingly approached the blocked junction. Lieutenant Zubairu said subsequent findings revealed that the 3 neutralized individuals belonged to a notorious syndicate responsible for widespread insecurity, including repeated kidnappings across Okom local government area. He said their activities were believed to be connected to recent abduction cases reported around the Zaki Biam Yan market vicinity. Zubairu said community members later identified the deceased suspects as Salsa Abelebe and Shumen Abelebe, both from Obam Council Ward, and a third individual from Sekbeaka Kundav Council Ward. The Force Commander Joint Task Force, OPWS, Major General Moses Gara, applauded the synergy amongst the security personnel and commended their courage, discipline, and professional conduct throughout the mission. He encouraged the troops to maintain the operational drive, deepen intelligence-led operations, and reinforce security presence in high-risk communities. General Officer commanding 8th Division of the Nigerian Army, Sokoto, Major General Ibikunle Ajose, has assured Nigerians of a peaceful atmosphere during the forthcoming Christmas celebrations. The Army Chief stated this during a colorful Christmas carol of 9 lessons held by the division of Thursday night. The carol, held at the Giginia Cantonment, drew officers, soldiers, families, security agencies, and members of the host community into an evening of music, worship, and renewed hope. The GOC, who is also Commander Sector 2, Joint Task Force and Northwest Operation Pansan Yama, said the carol was not just a celebration of faith, but a reminder of the Army's resolve to protect residents throughout the Yuletide. Extending warm Christmas greetings to GOC, praised troops for their sacrifices in sustaining peace across the division's area of responsibility. The event featured captivating performances from the combined choir of the Protestant and Roman Catholic chapels of the 8th Division, the Sokoto Deanery Choir, and the Organization of African Independence Churches, among others. Distinguished guests from security and paramilitary agencies were also in attendance, underscoring the growing synergy between the Army and other stakeholders in maintaining regional stability. Kano State Fire Service has advised residents to exercise caution in handling fire and take necessary measures to protect themselves and their property from the fire incidents. The Assistant Director of the Fire Service, Hassan Gaya, gave the advice during a sensitization and public awareness program held on Thursday at the Dambata local government area of the state. This was contained in a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the service, Saminu Abdullahi, on Friday. Recall that the agency last week commenced a statewide sensitization campaign against fire outbreaks to enlighten the public on safety tips during the Harmattan season. The agency urged the public to contact its office in case of any emergency. The director of the fire service had earlier directed the awareness department of the service fire prevention units to be committed to the implementation of the campaign to achieve maximum results. 4 people, including 2 children, died in 3 separate tragedies recorded across Kano State last Friday. Recent fire incidents underscore the importance of the campaign. 4 members of a family were killed in an early morning fire that engulfed their residence at Kundila Layin Baba, Impossible in Tarawini local government area. In addition, no fewer than 25 temporary shops and 19 stores were destroyed by fire at the Kano Singa markets in Kano Metropolis last month. People's Democratic Party in Borno State has announced it will not participate in the state's local government elections scheduled for Saturday, December 13, citing distrust in the electoral body and the high cost of expression of interest and nomination forms. In a statement released on Friday by the party's state publicity secretary, Amos Adziba, the decision followed the recent state executive committee meeting in Maiduguri. Adziba further criticized the electoral body or demanding high fees for forms despite prevailing economic challenges. Another concern raised by the PDP and the PDP was the state government's failure to amend the electoral bill to allow councillor results to be announced at the ward level and chairmanship results at local government headquarters, which the party said favors the ruling All Progressives Congress. Meanwhile, the APC has expressed readiness to participate in the elections. State Party Chairman Bello Ayuba confirmed that arrangements had been concluded at the party had formally notified Bosek of its participation. Kaduna State Government has extended its free compressed natural gas mass transit scheme indefinitely, citing its strong positive impact on residents. Commissioner for Information Ahmed Mayaki said in a statement on Friday that Governor Uba Sani approved the extension after renewing performance between July and November 2025. According to the assessment, 100 CNG buses operating across 200 stops has transported over 1.4 million passengers in 5 months, saving households an estimated 1.39 billion in transport costs. The buses currently serve more than 18,000 passengers daily, making the initiative one of the state's most impactful social programs. Ayaki said the decision was influenced by encouraging feedback from communities during recent field assessments. He added that the administration remains committed to expanding safe, affordable, and co-friendly. Niger State Governor Umaru Bago has sworn in 30 commissioners, 25 elected local government council chairmen and their vice chairmen, as well as board members of key state agencies. The swearing-in ceremony took place at the Hawa Wali Multi-Purpose Hall, Government House, Mina. The Chief Judge of Niger State, Justice Halima Abdulmalik, was represented by Justice Maimuna Abubakar of the High Court 6, who administered the oath of coffee and allegiance. Governor Bago said the appointees were carefully selected based on proven track records and capacity, expressing confidence that they would deliver quality service for a greater and more prosperous Niger State. He urged them to reflect on past governance challenges and work collectively towards building a sustainable, inclusive, and progressive state. In his remarks, the Secretary to the State Government, Abubakar Usman, reminded the newly inaugurated officials of their enormous responsibilities before them. He emphasized that their performance will significantly determine the success of administration's developmental vision. Osman noted that a retreat had been organized to properly align the officials with the administration's priority areas and to set clear expectations for their roles. Justice Mariam Hassan of the Federal Capital Territory High Court has ordered the remand of former Minister of Labor and Employment, Chris Ngige, at the Kuje Correctional Center. Ngige, who was arraigned on allegations of corruption, is to remain in custody until Monday, when the court will hear his bail application. He is accused of using his position as minister between 2015 and 2023 to confer undue advantages on associates through the award of several contracts. He is also alleged to have accepted financial gifts running into several millions of naira through his organizations, while the former minister pleaded not guilty to all 80 counts filed against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. His bail application could not be heard because it was served on the prosecution shortly before the court session ended. Leading his defense, Patrick Ikweato, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, urged the court to grant Ngige temporary bail on health grounds pending the formal hearing. The EFCC's counsel, Silvanus Taher, SAN, opposed the request, arguing that Ngige poses a flight risk and that the prosecution would formally respond to the application. In a brief ruling, Justice Hassan adjourned the matter to Monday, December 15, for the bill hearing. One of the charges alleges that Ngige abused to his office as Minister of Labour and Employment and a supervising Minister of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund to favor Sezimo Nigeria Limited, said to be linked to his associates Ezimbinwa Amarachuku Charles through the award of 7 consultancy, training and supply contracts, among other allegations. Supreme Court has overturned the pardon granted by President Bola Tinubu to an Abuja-based housewife. Miriam selected the best and sentenced to death by hanging in 2020 over the death of her husband, Biliyaminu Bello, during a domestic dispute. However, President Tinubu recently reduced Sanders' sentence to 12 years imprisonment on a compassionate grounds, according to the presidency. In a judgment delivered on Friday, the Supreme Court, in a 4-1 split decision, affirmed the death sentence originally handed down by the Court of Appeal, Abuja. The Court of Appeal had previously upheld the decision of a High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, which sentenced her to death by hanging. The Apex Court resolved all issues raised in the appeal. Sanders filed and dismissed it without being without merit, I beg your pardon. Justice Moore Domain, delivering the lead judgment personally, held that the prosecution had proved the case beyond reasonable doubt as required, adding that the Court of Appeal was correct to affirm the trial's court's judgment. Independent National Electoral Commission has recorded 2,685,725 completed registrations during the first phase of the continuous voter registration exercise, which ended on December 10, 2025. The figures closed by INEC Chairman Professor Josh Amupitan at the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room. National stakeholders from Forum in Abuja comprises 1,576,137 online registrations, and physical captures Osun State with 208,357 registrations, followed by Kanu 159,669, Sokoto 152,650, Imo 145,561, Borno 123,835, and Lagos 123,484. Speaking at the forum themed Securing Nigeria's Democracy, Building Consensus or Credible Elections and Accountable Governance for. Thank you so much for the collaboration and civic engagements to safeguard democracy. He highlighted that credible elections underpin accountable governance, stressing the role of political parties, civil society, security agencies, and INEC in upholding electoral rules. Professor Amopita noted persistent challenges with telecommunications infrastructure affecting real-time results uploads across 176,000 polling units, and reaffirmed INEC's commitments to deploying technology like BVAs and the IREV portal to enhance transparency. He also expressed concerns over declining voter participation, citing a 27% turnout in the 2023 general elections, while highlighting successful mobilization efforts in Anambra State as a proof that increased participation is available. All Progressives Congress has blamed defections from opposition parties on internal mismanagement rather than any action by the ruling party. Speaking in an interview on Friday, APC National Public Secretary Felix Moka said the challenges facing parties like the People's Democratic Party and the African Democratic Congress were self-inflicted. He explained that political parties are vehicles of political competition, and when they fail to provide a platform for members to contest and aspire, members naturally look elsewhere. Moka instead, the APC was fully committed to democratic norms, keeping its doors open to all Nigerians. He also criticized opposition spokespeople for being overly focused on the APC rather than promoting their own parties. His remarks comes against the backdrop of repeated criticism from opposition parties over high-profile defections. In the past year, governors including Sheriff Oboweri of Delta, Omar N. of Akwa Ibom, Peter Amba of Enugu, Doye Diri of Bayelsa, and Seminalayi Fubara of Rivers have switched allegiance to the APC, triggering political realignments in their states. The ADC has described these defections as evidence of personal convenience and lack of political conviction among the governors. Labour Party has stated that no aspirant, including Peter Obi, the 2023 presidential candidate, will be granted an automatic ticket for the 2027 general elections. The party emphasized that all positions from the presidency to governorship and other elective offices will be filled through duly conducted primaries. Labour Party National Publicity Secretary Obiora Ifo noted that the party remains committed to strictly adhering to its internal democratic processes. He also added that the Labour Party remains open for reconciling with Obi and other classified stakeholders despite the ongoing dispute between the former Anambra governor and the Julius Aburi-led leadership. We'll go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll continue with the rest of the stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Welcome back, and now to the rest of our stories. Federal Executive Council has approved three major public-private partnerships projects valued at over 6.43 trillion naira, signaling another significant wave of private sector investment into Nigeria's infrastructure landscape. The project, two deep sea ports and a 460-megawatt hydropower plant from the second batch of PPP initiatives cleared by the council within 1 month, underscoring President Bola Tinubu's push for private capital as a driver of growth under the Renewed Hope agenda. The approvals were announced in a statement released by the Director General of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, Jobson Ewalefo, on Friday. He said the deals represent one of the strongest signals yet that the government's reform agenda is yielding measurable impact. He explained that improved policy clarity, economic liberalization, and strengthened regulatory institutions have boosted investor confidence, enabling the federal government to unlock billions of dollars in long-term investment. The newly approved projects constitutes the second batch of 7 PPP initiatives endorsed by the Council in the last month, all under the regulatory guidance of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission. The new projects include the $2.27 billion Bakassi Deep Sea Port, the $1.14 billion Port of Ondo Deep Sea Port, and the $878.1 million Katsina Ala hydropower plant, and to be fully financed, developed, and operated by private investors. Ewalefo said the project reaffirmed the Tinubu administration's resolve to deploy PPPs to accelerate economic competitiveness, enhance trade, and expand Nigeria's renewable energy footprint. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has confirmed an explosion on one of the pipelines near the Tebijo, Okpele, and Ikporo communities in the Gbaramatu Kingdom, Delta States. The incident occurred at about 5:50 p.m. On Wednesday. NNPC's Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Andy Ode, said preliminary findings show the pressure drop on an NNPC gas infrastructure company pipeline, indicating the loss of containment. He noted that the company has activated its emergency response procedures and is working with authorities and community leaders to safeguard residents and limit environmental impact. Ode added that NNPC remains committed to strict safety and environmental standards and will provide further updates as more information becomes available. Dangote Petroleum Refinery has again reduced its petrol gantry price, cutting the ex-depot rates from 828 naira to 699 naira per litre. Real-time market data from petroleumprice.ng on Friday showed that the refinery implemented another major downward review, lowering the premium motor spirit benchmark by 129 naira per litre, representing a 15.58% reduction. A refinery official who spoke anonymously because he was not authorized to speak publicly confirmed the adjustment, noted that the new rate took effect on December 11, 2025. This marks the 20th petrol price review announced by the refinery this year. The latest cut comes just 5 days after refinery chairman Aliko Dangote reaffirmed his commitment to keeping domestic fuel prices stable, competitive, and aligned with market realities despite global volatility and persistent cross-border smuggling. After a meeting with President Bola Tinubu on December 6th here, he explained that prices would continue to drop as production increases and as the refinery competes more directly with imported fuel. He also noted that smuggling remains a challenge due to Nigeria's pumps prices being significantly lower than those of neighboring countries. Dangote maintained that both petrol and diesel will continue to be sold at reasonable levels, stressing that the refinery's multi-billion-dollar investment is intended for long-term impact rather than quick returns. Following the refinery's latest review, several private depots also adjusted their prices. Sigmund Depot reduced its ex-depot rate by 4 naira, bringing it to 824 per litre, while Bulk Strategic recorded a 3 naira drop. Nigeria Customs Service has extended the deadline for the migration of all beneficiaries under the Fast Track scheme to the Authorized Economic Operator program from December 31st, 2025 to January 31st, 2026. Disclosing this in a statement, NC spokesperson Abdullahi Maiwada said the move was in line with the service's commitments to deepening trade facilitation, securing supply chains, and strengthening compliance with global standards. He described the extension as a reinforcement of the service's commitment to ensuring seamless and inclusive transition process for all stakeholders. According to Maiwada, the decision to fully migrate from the Fast Track scheme to AEO aligned with the World Customs Organization's safe framework of standards and supported by this Section 108 to 111 of the NCA's Act. The NIS spokesperson asked all existing Fast Track beneficiaries who had yet to complete their migration to initiate and conclude their AEO applications through the official platform. The AEO program, he stated, is globally recognized compliance-based initiative that grants trusted operators enhanced benefits such as expedited cargo release, reduced documentation, lower inspection levels, pre-arrival processing, and greater predictability in cross-border trade. Mayweather saw that NCs would convene another comprehensive stakeholder engagement forum on December 18 in Lagos, aimed at providing practical guidance on the AEO's migration process, demonstrating application procedures, and addressing compliance-related concerns. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network, and up next is the International Tidbit. M23 fighters have asserted control over Uvira, a major city in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, after capturing it 2 days ago, residents told newsmen. Following the takeover, locals were reportedly forced to sweep streets and carry out Salongo, community work imposed by the militia. The capture of Uvira, part of an offensive launched in early December in South Kivu province along Burundian border, follows M23's previous seizures of Goma and Bukavu earlier this year. Controlling Uvira allows the group to secure the land border with Burundi and limits Kinshasa's access to military support from its neighbor. On Friday, pedestrians and motorbikes were seen on the streets near Lake Tanganyika, while M23 fighters continue to comb the city for remaining Congolese forces and allied militias known locally as Wazalendo. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the offensive, warning that the escalation increases the risk of a broader regional conflagration and calling for an immediate and unconditional cessation of hostilities. Kinshasa has also warned that the Rwanda-backed advance could derail U.S. President Donald Trump's efforts to broker peace in the region. UK on Friday imposed sanctions on senior commanders of Sudan's Rapid Support Forces accused of carrying out severe violence in El Fasher, the Darfur hub the group seized in October. Those targeted include RSF second-in-command Abdel Rahim Hamdan Daglo, brother of the group's leader Mohamed Hamdan Daglo, along with three other field commanders. They are alleged to be responsible for mass killings, sexual violence, and attacks on civilians during the takeover of the Sudanese army's last stronghold in Western Darfur. The sanctions include assets freezes and travel bans. According to the UK government, the RSF's actions in El Fasher were part of a planned campaign to terrorize communities and gain control through fear and violence. Satellite images reportedly show evidence of mass graves where victims were burned and buried. London says the sanctions are intended to reinforce accountability for atrocities. The European Union imposed similar measures on Abderrahim Hamdan Daglo last month. Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper said the scale of atrocities in Sudan demands international action, pointing to evidence of mass executions, starvation, and the use of rape as a weapon of war. She stressed that the UK will continue to stand with the Sudanese people. The UK also announced $21 million in view humanitarian aid to support food, clean water, health care, and protection for women and children in Sudan's worst affected areas, bringing total UK assistance to 146 million euros this year. I beg your pardon. A powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 6.7 struck off the northern coast of Japan on Friday, just days after a stronger tremor injured at least 50 people. The Japan Meteorological Agency issued a tsunami advisory warning of waves up to 1 meter. Though only 20 centimeter waves were recorded in Hokkaido and Aomori. The earthquake, located 130 kilometers off Kuji in Iwate Prefecture, caused less shaking than Monday's 7.5 magnitude tremor. The previous quake had damaged roads, shattered windows, and triggered tsunami waves up to 70 centimeters. Authorities also evacuated residents near a damaged steel tower in Aomori due to collapse risk. Despite the tremors, Japan's Nuclear Regulation Authority reported no issues at nuclear facilities. The JMA had issued a rare special advisory earlier, warning of the possibility of more powerful quakes in the following week, particularly in areas affected by the disaster. Japan, located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, is one of the world's most seismically active countries, experiencing around 1,500 earthquakes annually. Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and 6 companies involved in shipping the country's oil. The move coincided with the U.S. seizure of an oil tanker off the Venezuelan coast, which is being brought to a port in the United States, raising fears of escalating tensions. The tanker was taken in a raid involving U.S. forces descending from a helicopter. Washington said the ship was part of an illicit oil shipping network carrying sanctioned oil. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed the vessel will dock in Galveston, Texas, and the crew will be released. The sanctions target 3 nephews of Maduro's wife, labeling 2 as narco traffickers operating in Venezuela and 6 oil shipping companies. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Maduro and his associates are flooding the U.S. with drugs, while Maduro condemned the seizure as blatant theft and international piracy. Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed support for Maduro, though Moscow's involvement is limited due to the war in Ukraine. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged restraint, warning against actions that could destabilize the region. Critics in the U.S., including Senator Dick Durbin, questioned the legality of the seizure and warned it could signal preparations for a potential invasion. The Trump administration has accused Maduro of leading the so-called cartel on the Suns and offered a $50 million reward for information leading to his capture, alleging he stole Venezuela's July 2024 election. And now to our sports news. Porto are looking to delay Zaidu Sanusi's release for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Report Sanusi was named in Nigeria's 28-man squad for the competition by Super Eagles head Eric Chell on Thursday. Porto are expected to release a left back after next Monday's Portuguese league clash with Estrela, according to One Football. The Dragons want to delay his release until 18 December when they face Famalicão in the Portuguese Cup. The Federation of International Football Association, FIFA, has directed clubs to release players for the AFCON by Monday, December 15. Sanusi is Nigeria's first choice left back. Liverpool manager Arne Slot has insisted there is no reason for Mohamed Salah not to remain at the club amid growing speculation over the winger's future. Slot is set to hold further talks with Salah on Friday morning to address the situation. Reports indicate that Salah, who's 33, expressed frustration, following Liverpool's 2-2 draw at Leeds, claiming he felt thrown under the bus by the club and was subsequently left out of the squad for Tuesday's Champions League clash against Inter Milan. Reaffirming his support for the Egypt international, Slot said he wants Salah to stay, and the outcome of their upcoming conversation will determine how matters look ahead of Saturday's Premier League match against Brighton at Anfield. Salah, who signed a new 2-year contract in April, has scored 250 goals in 420 appearances for Liverpool. However, he has been an unused substitute in 2 of the last 3 league games, with his last start coming in the 26th November Champions League defeat to PSV in Eindhoven, and his most recent appearance as a substitute in the 1-1 draw against Sunderland on December 3rd. Victor Boniface has been ruled out of Werder Bremen's final home game of the year against VfB Stuttgart due to injury. Boniface, according to Bremen head coach Horst Steffen, is currently battling a knee injury. Steffen declared that he is not certain the Nigerian international will play again for the club this year. Boniface joined the Green and White on loan from Bayer Leverkusen in the summer. The 24-year-old has registered 2 assists in 11 league outings for Bremen this season. And now to our entertainment news. Nigerian actress Judy Austin, second wife to actor Yul Edochie, has claimed that an unnamed witch attacked her and her children. She raised the claim in a series of posts on her Instagram page on Wednesday, warning the individuals to stop. Judy accused the alleged attacker of using manipulation to gain pity while consistently targeting her family. She vowed that any future attacks would be met with spiritual protection, invoking the powerful blood of Jesus Christ. The post comes amid rumors of a separation between July and Yul Edochie. The speculation reportedly arose after Yul reconciled with his legal wife, May Edochie, and made peace with his elder brother, Link Edochie, and aunt, Rita Edochie, who had accused Judy of snatching him from his legal wife. Grammy-winning Nigerian singer Ayodeji Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid, has revealed that he wants fellow musician Asake to perform at his wedding. Wizkid said Asake's song Omo Okwe made him a fan, but Remember is his favorite, and the one he would like performed on his special day. He described Asake as one of the most talented vocalists in Africa and the world, calling him a blessing to African music. The Starboy boss is currently in a romantic relationship with his third baby mama and manager, Japa P. The couple have 3 children together, 2 boys and a girl. Wizkid has been teasing fans about his wedding for several years. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. APC formally registers Governor Fubara as party member. Bayelsa confirms deputy governor's death, declares 3-day mourning. Supreme Court affirms Miriam Sanders' death sentence. Dangote refinery slashes petrol price to $699 nationwide. M23 fighters capture Uvira, strengthen grip in DR Congo. Slot insists Salah should stay amid Liverpool uncertainty. Judy Austin alleges witch attack amid separation rumors. I am Francis Necker. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, now X at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. And remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.